Showtime!
Well, it's so I can sync up my audio with the video. And it has to be in neutral to start. I didn't know that.
Actually, I'm not sure it does.
Oh, I couldn't get it to start in first. Yeah, you're right. See us. Okay, let's see where we're going. This is kind of fun. Welcome to another edition of Leadership Lessons from the Saddle. And I'll tell you where I am. So I'm actually at my brother-in-law's house, George. And for those of you that read my book, then this is the same George that's in the book and the story. And actually I'm on his motorcycle. Just taking a few minutes this afternoon, because today we're going to talk about values. And values in the context of leadership coaching. And I'll tell you in a second why I want to talk about that. When you're leading people, to understand when you are in alignment with your own values and when you're not. Because a lot of times, a lot of us don't actually know, one, just what are our values? Like, what do we value in our life, in our work, in our relationships? Until we know those values, then it's hard for us to know when we're actually out of alignment with them. And sometimes, you've probably all felt this way, that you're maybe just doing some work, or you're having to do something for your job or with your family or whatnot, and it just doesn't feel right. So typically what happens there is because you are probably stepping on some of your values without realizing it. Now in coaching, the first things that we do, or that I do with my clients in coaching, is that we're going to get in touch with your values. So why am I talking about this right now? So most likely you're watching this video because you are either one of my clients, or you're thinking about working with me. So one of the first things that we're going to do is that we're going to do some exercises in identifying those values. And it's very hard to do really kind of on your own, because it's hard to sit down with a piece of paper and say, okay, here are the things that I value. A lot of times you need like a sounding board. So I've got a few exercises that I'm going to take you through, which help identify, just turn in here, help identify what are those values that are at your core, and then also which are the ones that really kind of bubble up to the top, that are always there. And there's some of your values might be more present when you're, let's say, for work, and then some will be more present, let's say, at home. Working with some of my clients, when we're trying to figure out where their next move is going to be, it's really important to identify what those values are, because as they're considering different options in terms of their career, like for example, do they want to completely, change the career they're in? Do they want to leave the large organizations that they're working for, maybe go work for a smaller organization, or do they want to go out on their own, or do they want to get that promotion, let's say up to the executive level? Then when we know their values and what's important to them, then that helps give some guidance in terms of what's the right decision for them. Because let's face it, if you're a successful person, you're successful at your job, you're good at what you do, and what comes with that is opportunities and options to do other things. And a lot of times we get a little concerned about, well, is this the right decision for me? Like if I take this promotion, if I move overseas and move my family overseas for this job, will I be happy? Will I regret it? Or will this be, let's say, the best career move? Other times it could be, do I go from being a high performer in sales to taking a job into management? We struggle with that. Is that good for us? Is that really what we want? Now, if you're working with me, or you're going to be working with me, values is one of the key things that we're going to work on at first. And really it's to get some clarity around what are your values. We'll do this through a couple of sessions. I'm going to have you do some very specific exercises, and it's some homework, and I'm going to have you work through to identify what are your values. When we bring all of this together, we'll really be able to nail this down anywhere between 5 to 10 values that are really at your core. And most likely these values probably haven't changed much of your life. When you go through and you think about the different experiences you went through, most likely those values will have showed up at different parts of your life.
Okay, so it's finally happened. After roughly 30 videos, I've messed up the audio and I'm on the bike. For those of you that are attentive, you'll see that little fuzzy thing sticking out of the side. That's the microphone on the outside of my helmet. So it's not recording really much of what I'm saying. It's just a lot of wind noise and me mumbling. You have an assignment. This assignment that I'm giving you is to help start to identify your values. What we're doing is we're doing it from 3 peak experiences in your life. Now, those peak experiences are, I want 2 positive peak experiences. So these could be great things in your life. Could be that promotion, that that job. It could be the day you were married. Could be when you graduated. Any of those things. 2 of those peak experiences, I want you to write 1 page on each of them. And then on the dark side, the flip side, we want 1 experience that's a very low point in your life. I want you to write 1 page on that as well. So in the end, you will have 3 experiences, and that is your first assignment. So that's an assignment that you have that will help us identify what are those values that are really at the foundation of who you are. Okay, so thanks very much everyone for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.